Show. Good afternoon. I'm Chris McCoy, and I'm joined today with Sam Owl. Sam is a board member of the Kitawah LLC. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Thanks, Chris. Glad to be here.
Good. And Mark Hubble. Mark, you're the CEO of the Kitawah LLC.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you guys are up to these days.
Sure.
So the reason we're here today is really to get in front of the community and provide some information straight from Kitawah LLC. Mostly what we want to talk about today is what's on a lot of people's minds, and that's our acquisition of Cardinal Housing.
Oh, good.
And how that will ultimately benefit the community.
Good. Now, Sam, let's talk a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and raised at?
Well, I was actually born in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. That wasn't where I was really going.
Right. Yeah, but I was raised in the Wolftown community, and I come from the Owls up on Old Number 4.
Oh, good. You and I spent some time in high school and some classes together, a little bit of background together.
Yeah, and it was funny because I was talking to my wife, when we were out in Vegas was the last time I saw you before, before the world went haywire. And I was, recollecting on even the trip that we took up back in 1995.
Oh, my
goodness. We went to D.C.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was quite a fun trip, and just thinking back about that, and then the Vegas trip was probably the first time I've really had an enjoyable work trip in a long time.
Oh, good.
And I see you've grown your hair.
Well, I was going to compliment yours as well. So what have you decided? You're going to grow it out?
Yeah. I think I was telling my wife I've never grown it long. I want to grow my hair long, and most importantly, in these times, I think it's important to be visible.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, yeah, mine's a little out of control. I don't do any styling. I have no special technique for what's going on. I don't even have a plan for it. I don't know how long I'll grow it out, but it's good to see someone else is on that path as well. And you have a beautiful tie on. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so backstory of this tie is been doing work with the Assembly of First Nations up in Canada. We were doing a pretty broad strategy for that organization. Been up to Ottawa a couple times, up to Quebec City, and they gifted this tie to me on the first trip up there, and Mark was an example this morning of the multiple people that I've run across in airports, in taxis, walking down the street,
right,
to just say, hey, I love that tie.
It sticks out. It really pops. I love the design on it. It's really pretty. Well, good. You guys are doing some good work and serving on the board now. I know that we're going to get into a little bit about what kind of the primary focuses are. But let me talk a little bit to Mark. Mark, tell me a little bit about your background.
So I grew up in Oklahoma. My dad is Citizen Potawatomi. I'm enrolled Citizen Potawatomi Nation. My mom is Oklahoma Cherokee.
Okay.
I grew up in Oklahoma. We moved a lot. But now most of my family lives within 30 miles of Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Both my parents are still alive, brother, sister. I have one kid.
Good.
He just graduated from Cherokee High.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, so just got his carpentry degree, his carpentry certificate, and then he's going to go to college and getting his wants to get some trade skills in as well.
I tell you what, I called a plumber one time, and he could get to my job. It was going to cost a few $100, but he was so tied up, it was going to take him 2 months. I was like, who can wait on a plumber for 2 months? There's a lot of demand for trade stuff this day and age, and I think we focus a lot of energy, and it's good, on higher education, and we have a lot of folks in that field in those areas, but there's a lot of trade needs as well, and I know that's something that we're going to kind of speak to as well today with regards to what you guys are doing with the housing pieces. So good. Mark, welcome. And let's talk a little bit about the passive investment portfolio. What is the key areas of investment that you guys are working on? What is passive investment portfolio?
So we work on, so basically the tribe's money that has been entrusted to Kitawah is split up into 3 areas.
Okay.
And so the passive investors are things we don't have to actively manage. We spend a lot of time vetting the investments, whether they're apartment, real estate investments in, throughout the United States, or there's a medical office complex in Asheville.
Okay.
So that's that part of the of that portfolio
Okay.
are things that we don't have to actively manage.
Gotcha. That's what passive investment is.
Sure.
Okay. Why would someone do passive investment?
Well, part of that is to create a consistent cash flow
Okay.
to fund our operations and things like that. But it doesn't require, once we've done the vetting, it doesn't require a lot of additional people.
Like energy. You're not having to put a lot of energy into it.
That's exactly right.
I've invested in it and it's making me some money, but I'm not having to actively participate in that.
Correct.
Good. Generally, no startups or higher risk investments in that. That's something that you
We
guys
generally
kind of
don't
avoid.
do that.
Part of the rules.
We prefer that the investments have a track record that we can ascertain.
Good. The second part of that, the real estate and housing development and investment. What is that, Sam?
So part of the real estate investment that we've done is we've looked for opportunities where we have good cash flow,
Right.
and also the possible for appreciation of the underlying real estate.
Okay.
And we have, apartment complex in Gastonia. We purchased the Ela campground, and obviously we are making improvements to both of those investments, and ultimately, we can use that land, because we all know that land is a vital
Right.
resource around here. There's getting that real estate in our portfolio and just having it there to use it, and then ultimately the Cardinal Homes project. We purchased this organization out of bankruptcy, but that is something that I've seen in my time when I worked in New York and M&A, and it's just a good business practice. Is you find a business that is viable, that will provide long-term returns,
Right.
and you buy it at a discount.
At a discounted price. So when we talk about cash flow, that's simply the profits that are coming down after all the expenses are paid, and it gives you access to money more immediately, right? Is that kind of what you see in that?
Yes. Now in Cardinal, it would typically be not that's not the apartment complex. It's not the medical office complex. That's just something we need to grow back into a thriving and dynamic.
Gotcha.
It used to be thriving. It used to be dynamic. 2008 happened. It basically, and it really had trouble recovering. Finally, they just run out of cash.
Gotcha.
And so there's a lot of real estate companies and modular home companies that face that. Many of them are closed now.
Gotcha.
This company we caught, before it was truly going to run out of cash, we provided the interim financing to take it through the bankruptcy process, and then we bought the assets
Gotcha.
out of the bankruptcy process.
Good. And then you talk about the appreciation of the properties. That's, again, like the Ela campground piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to value that won't go away because we're talking about land.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you buy something for $1, in 10 years, that thing might be worth $1.50. So the appreciation is there regardless of what business operations you're doing on the appreciation of the land's there. The business as well, if you're reinvesting in it, you can bring the value of that. Now, is that something that falls within the criteria of the LLC? Was it hitting a certain return on investment that met your qualifications?
Yes, they all the real estate that we've purchased, or the properties that we purchased, are all cash flow positive.
Good.
as we get them, and then we hope to make value added investments.
Gotcha.
to grow the cash flow. COVID's obviously affected that somewhat. But to grow it into a slightly better property
Gotcha.
value.
Gotcha. And then government contracting is the third leg of this. So what is the government contracting piece?
So that piece is relatively new. It's
Okay.
something that we've been working on, and I say relatively new in the sense that we just made a big hire.
Okay.
And what we've done as a board, the board is a pretty cohesive board. We have a broad skill set, and we've when we hired Mark, the same thought process that the organization has taken is we're going to bring in subject matter experts.
Right.
And that's what we did here. We brought a business 8A business development president from Ho Chunk Inc.
Okay.
And he is going to be heading up government.
And that's the 8A wing.
That's the 8A wing.
For the public, what is 8A contracting in general? And I know that's a broad
Sure.
statement, but
8A contracting is a set-aside program that the federal government gives to disadvantaged minority small businesses. It's particularly beneficial for tribes.
okay,
And the reason is because the scope of the contracts can be very large, that normal, ordinary, even if they're 8A, they can't get.
gotcha.
And then it has benefits to the contracting officers who make those benefits as well.
So I visited the Cherokee Nation businesses one time, and I think I went through one of their helicopter harness factory kind of things. It was very small, very clean, nice facility. The employees seemed happy. That was an 8A contracted facility? Is that kind of what we have in mind here? We would have facilities or operations where we complete contracts for the government?
Well,
Yeah, or it could be services.
Services.
I was going to say, it's interesting you say that, because there, in those programs, there are things like that you mentioned are very capital intensive.
Right.
And then there are services and essentially filling seats.
Okay.
There are a lot of people up in D.C. that are basically, just headhunters in a sense.
Right.
They go out and they find professionals, skilled professionals, with clearance.
Right.
And the government has slowly contracted out more and more positions, and they fill those seats.
Okay, great. I know another one that I'd heard of was a group out of Alaska that was doing photocopying for the federal government. Huge, $1 billion, I believe, contract to photocopy.
Cool.
So that'd be great to see some of that coming to light. So the tribal member housing, the purpose that we're here for today was, again, to circle back around to Cardinal Homes acquisition there and what that means for our enrolled members.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sam, talk us through a little bit about the basic mechanics of what that looks like for an enrolled member.
So I'll actually let Mark talk about the mechanics. My perspective on Cardinal Homes is that it's a vast opportunity for Kitawah LLC. It's a vast opportunity for our community,
Right.
Both locally and throughout Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. And not only is the goal of getting high quality housing at lower costs to
Right.
tribal members and through speedier construction, but also the ancillary benefit of developing a workforce out of that, and also developing entrepreneurs, because we'll need people that can install HVAC, we'll need carpenters, we'll need plumbers, we'll need other folks that can build
Folks
these.
that could do the excavating and the road,
Yeah,
all
like
all
site
those
prep.
components, site prep
Mhm.
of home building.
And I know that I've been keeping an eye on council, and
Right.
I know there's been some worries out there. I'm from the community,
Right.
and I grew up with people that work at Kitawah Housing, and people that work at tribal housing. I have family members that work there, and our goal is job creation.
Right.
We're not looking to
disrupt kind of the
disrupt
system.
what they're
Yeah.
doing, or put anybody out of work. If anything, we understand we need a broader network of folks that can
Good.
help us, and part of what we're going to do is build out this certified builder network for
Right.
Cardinal Homes.
It's easy, when you're in our position, I guess, where we're looking at this from top down, to not realize, I guess, that the employees that are out there working, they hear of a new construction company or a new housing thing coming, and I can see the fear in that. I can see, it's easy to forget that these guys depend. This is their livelihood. But with the way, I guess, that you're saying we should approach this is opportunity. We're going to have a lot of new opportunities here, whether it be in small business or whether it be in our own personal growth, to get into new positions or new areas of home building through the processes that you guys are creating. Is that right?
That's right. And when we were chatting a bit before, it's like, we don't come into this with a go it alone approach. Like,
Right.
we understand that we have to partner
Right.
with Kitawah Housing, we have to partner with Tribal Housing, we have to partner with Taro, we have to partner with the Sequoia Fund. Like, the idea of government and somewhat, private
Right.
organizations coming together to partner on these things. That's how we're going to work through this.
Good. Well, I'm glad that's part of the mission, and that should put some folks at ease. And I'm sure if they have any questions about that down the road, that's something that you guys would be more than willing to speak with through these partnerships and these organizations.
Yeah, and also through the town halls.
Right.
And now that they're done virtually, it gives me much more access.
Right.
Because I travel quite a bit with my other job, and it was hard to get back and forth. But
right.
I'm really looking forward to speaking to the communities.
Good. Mark, let's talk about those mechanics. So how do I know about what you're doing?
So, well, first of all, why are we doing what we're doing? Which is basically save tribal members money on housing.
Okay.
We can deliver a house comparable to if you site built it. We can do it faster, and we can do it more inexpensively because we're going to sell it to you at our cost.
Okay, so whatever you got in it, that's what the tribal member will pay.
That's it. If you're an enrolled tribal member, and it's for your primary residence,
right,
we'll sell it to you. We'll sell our part of it to your builder at cost, and we'll let you know what that is. And we're working through the mechanics of how that would specifically work. What we're going to do first is we're developing a dedicated tribal member only website.
Okay, good.
And that'll walk you through the steps that you would want to take, how it works with like the down payment assistance, how it works with your builder, and how it works with your your financer.
Okay.
Wherever you're getting your financing from, whether it's through housing or whether it's through a bank or a credit union.
Gotcha.
And so I think that'll deliver. We're hopeful I'll have that website up, and it'll have the links to Cardinal and to building plans and those kind of things. And then we'll get the model home center up. We're hopeful to do that. We already built one of the models. Okay. That can get shipped down here. There'll be. We think we can get about 8 models on that site. We originally thought we could do 6, but we think we can get about 8 models on that site.
So let's talk about that. What the model home center? Where are we looking at that at?
We would be looking at the employee parking lot across from
the Food Lion Shopping Center. Essentially,
okay.
As you're going in.
So across the street from the Taco Bell, Arby's area there.
Yep. That's exactly right. It fits security issues. It fits lighting issues.
Gotcha.
It's already got some infrastructure in place, and we can get that site.
So can folks come there and visit them and tour them and see what they could be getting?
Tour all of them.
Wow.
You'll be able to tour them. You can start to look at options for, like, if you want this type of counter, you like this type of counter, you like this type of floor, you like this type of floor. We want this type of bathroom. Even if the model is slightly different than what you're seeing, you'll be able to choose your option.
Gotcha. When are you looking at this happening?
As fast as we can possibly get it permitted. We need to get it permitted.
Gotcha.
Through the tribe. Once it gets permitted, we can move really quickly.
Good.
It's just got to go through that process. We're hopeful within 90 days we can have it up. The models will be ready within 8 weeks.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, I'll also add in there, and Mark can add some of the more detail to it. But in this, what I think is very exciting for our people is that in the build out of this model center, in the contract that we've approved, the individual that is a certified builder has set aside and made a commitment that he will teach enrolled members, and I can't remember the exact number, but we'll teach some enrolled members how to assemble these modular
because
homes.
It's a very specified, it's a science, right, to put these together, I guess, a trade to assemble these at a certain standard. And so you've got the builder willing to train enrolled members how to do this.
Yeah, so and that's part of what we see as our broader vision of developing that workforce, and through apprenticeships, through internships.
Good. So Mark, I'm ready for my house, so I can go online. I can look through the process there. You're going to have all the partnerships established with all the stakeholders, and then I can come to the model home site and take a peek and start to work through that once we get through this first phases, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Why is this important? Why is this important that we do this?
Honestly, because housing's important.
Right.
if you can upgrade housing and you can get more people into their homes and do it in a cost-effective manner, you can change a lot of things. And you can it alleviates social issues, it alleviates all kinds of areas, and so we can take one part of that and start to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And over time, that starts to build on itself.
Sam, what's the long-term vision that you and the board have with this? I mean, we're going to check a lot of boxes with this. What do you see in the future with this?
So I'll speak more broadly to the long-term vision of Kitawah, because I believe these, work hand in hand, right? And really it's creating that self-sufficient economy.
Okay.
As we think of our tribal economy, and we want to be able to better leverage, federal funds and also use the funds of Kitawah. We want to build out this builder network, and through that builder network and through these installs, allow tribal members to, start an HVAC company, build out these skilled trades, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity for them on the reservation.
Yep.
And then, we have reach throughout the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. The facility is up in Southern Virginia, not far from Charlotte market, maybe 2.5 hours, or Raleigh, 2.5 hours from Raleigh, a little bit farther from Charlotte, but we're within reach of Charlotte, we're in reach of Raleigh, we're in reach of Asheville, Waynesville, which are hot markets.
All the Virginia, even
Atlanta.
up into D.C., I guess. I don't know if you can go that far or not, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a bit of reach, and so it will create a lot of opportunities for tribal members if they want to, expand outside of the reservation, and more locally to Waynesville, to Asheville, to help these builds, and then with the broader business, we start talking 8A. The first jobs that we're going to see come out of the 8A are going to be more administrative jobs.
Right.
As it gets developed, we'll need more of the skilled trades.
Gotcha.
And ultimately, as we purchase more companies and broaden Kitawah LLC, we want to have places for those tribal members that are coming out of university as well.
Good.
To have a landing place, and whether it's locally with Kitawah LLC, the headquarters, or with one of our subsidiary companies.
Right.
I'm a true believer in kind of that. The hive idea of shared ideas.
Yeah.
Right. So you have folks that go out to these and then bring those skill set back here. It's better for the community. I
think you're a prime example of that, Sam. I know that, again, we grew up together here in this community. You went off to school. You've gone off and had a career outside of the boundary, but you are full circle back here, delivering that product and those skills and those experiences to our members here. And ultimately, that's leading to finances and services that the people wouldn't have had otherwise. And so I think you're right. I think to be able to offer a kid who's graduating with a BA degree somewhere a gig in Charlotte at one of our build-out projects there, and get to gain that experience, and then ultimately to bring that back here, that is a great vision and goal for our programs to have. And I'm glad to hear the LLC has that vision. So thank you.
And then ultimately, just maintaining the key to all these economies, and what will be key for our tribal economy is to keep our money generating within our community. Good. And the only way we can do that is if when we have RFPs for work, that we have tribal member-owned businesses that are able to complete that work for us. That's what we want. Good. I mean, that was the the mission of the organization as it was set. That was the idea of it before it was created. And I think we're just 2+ years into our existence, and we've laid the foundation administratively, which it's a tough work. It's tough work to set up an organization from scratch. I think a lot of times the misunderstanding in the public is we put $50 million or $75 million or $100 million into a project, we expect to see something tomorrow, and it's
in the business world and what you guys have done, kind of propping this up from the ground up, you've done well in 2 years, and now we're starting to see those benefits. And you had immediate return on some of your investments early on, so it's good to know that that's happening. I think what's good is that you come on, that we share and be as transparent with the public as we can, with your organization, what the LLC does for our public. Again, the tribe owns this. The tribe, this is everybody's. And so it's good to be able to talk. Now, I know we can't get in the weeds with details on business purchases and acquisitions and whatnot, but it's good to know kind of what this is. Because without that knowledge, without that basic understanding of what cash returns and cash flows and what those things are, we just kind of make it up. That's just kind of human nature. If we don't know, we'll just make it up and we'll assume the worst a lot of times. And so it's good that you can come on here and share that knowledge with our public so that we can get a little more comfortable to what you're doing. And I like it. I like what we're hearing. Good. So I guess in the future, if you have any more information to share with me, let's come on. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. Get that website information to me as soon as you can, and we'll share that with the public. And I look forward to seeing. I'm excited to see these model homes coming out here and seeing what our public can do with those. I look forward to the first ones being built here on the boundary. Want to do a little video of it? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty impressive.
That's great.
There's if you just go to the website there that already exists, there's a pretty wide variety of things to choose from. Options, garages, multiple bedrooms, basements. Yeah,
we can all have our unique character again and individuality at a low cost, a cost-effective price. Well, good. Well, thanks for the hard work that you guys are doing. Again, I really appreciate it. And Mark, come on over and hang out. And let's keep the public informed with some of this stuff. I like what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having given up the time today to have us here.
Yeah.
And, and it was good to see you again. It's been a bit of a struggle being up in the DC area, and I had a baby. My wife and I had a new baby, our second daughter.
Awesome.
At the end of May, she came about a month early. But all is well. And,
that's great, Sam.
And so that it was painful to know that a lot of help was needed back home, and I couldn't come back.
Okay.
For fear of bringing anything from DC, which was a hot spot at the time, and also we had prenatal visits.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, good. You're here, and that's what matters. Is we're still working. The wheels are turning. And so I look forward to seeing you again. Sam, keep growing your hair out. I want to see how long I'm going to braid mine when it gets long enough. I'm going to get it down here and braid it.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
You could throw some product in it for now.
Yeah. I need to do something. It's just kind of everywhere. But I really want to Rick Bird it one day. I want to get the Rick Bird braids in.
Rick.
Guys, I'll talk to you again very soon. If you're out in the public and you have any questions about what we've talked about, put it on our Facebook. Call Mark over to LLC. Call me if you need to. We'll be happy to clarify anything or come meet with you guys if you have anything out there in the public you need answers to. We'll see you again very soon. Day to Dog, you.